And two candidates for president faced off in their final debate before the election. Now, we're going to have team coverage of that story in just a few minutes here. But we begin with what the National Weather Service calls a gustnado in Springfield. Good evening. I'm Brian Richardson.
And I'm Brandy Smith. Storm victims say what looked like a tornado came out of the sky this afternoon, ripping off shingles and siding and knocking down trees. Justin's live in the Weather Center with our top story. And Justin, what is a gustnado?
Yeah, a lot of folks have been asking that question. We put it up there, and what it is it's sort of a tornado light, or sort of a junior tornado, if we want to call it that. The ingredients are all still the same. You have a rotating column of air, but it's generally in a very small, discrete area. And today, the damage that we had seen, and folks had let us know in Springfield, was about from 42nd Street up to about 47th. Still 5 blocks, but again, it's all relative depending on how large of an area that a tornado damage path can be. We're talking about miles as you get back towards the Midwest. Now, here's the setup so far. You have an overall spin to the atmosphere because of the upper level low sitting off of the coast of Washington. Now, we jump in a little closer, and what we have is a localized area of low pressure, or a thunderstorm, that was moving its way across and towards the Springfield area. Now, ahead of that, you'll get winds that are moving out from the thunderstorm, and that's what creates what's called a gust front. We don't see those that often here in the Northwest. They're very common in the Deep South and in the Midwest, where they can get very strong. Well, the winds out ahead of that get pushed pretty hard, and they start to rotate close to the surface, kind of like kicking a can across an area, you know, a road or something, where it starts to turn. Well, what happens is sometimes that wind can pull those winds as they're turning near the surface upward, and it creates a rotating column of air, which is generally what we call a gustnado. It's not necessarily from the thunderstorm, but it's out ahead of that, and it still can do some fairly significant damage, as the folks that were affected by that storm could tell you this afternoon. And we certainly appreciate everybody giving us the information from that, and we'll certainly be on the lookout for those tomorrow, as the temperatures so far this evening have been falling into the mid and low 40s. We still have that cold and stable air mass overhead, and that is going to keep a chance for those thunderstorms and possibly a few more of those gustnados around as well. We'll have more on that in your full 7-day forecast. I'll be back a little bit later with that.